So, Aphmau, the content creator, released the first episode of a brand new series called My Inner Demons on June 29th, 2019, starring the main character, Ava, a young adult who is attempting to live her life whilst being confronted with the Deimos that came to Earth in search of a way to restore their magic that's greatly shortening on their planet. These Deimos are Asch, the bull-headed leader and to-be king, Leif, the aggressive assassin, Noi, the newbie and is generally pretty harmless, Pierce, the strong but silent type, and Rhys, the smart overthinker. Together, these guys make up Prince Asch's protectors and guards. Now, there's a lot that can be said about each of these characters and in coordination of how these personalities don't stray too far from what she usually creates in her other series. But if you've been watching the episodes as they go on, you probably realize how close Jess is to stepping over the line of being PG-13, with people almost dropping F-bombs and the not-so-silent sexual references. Mostly in the older ladies, by the way. Why is that? Regardless, this video is going to be the general thoughts and conclusions about each of the main characters and the story that's building up so far. So, let's start with our main character, Ava.
I really am a powerful sorceress. I can do anything. Yeah.
Ava is one of the main characters of this story, finding our first introductions to her people skills being that she's not afraid to lay down the truth when Jake comes to retrieve her apartment fees. She calls him creepy and moves on from his visit. And while I do find her to be sketchy in her motivations and reasoning abilities, she did show concern for someone who was in danger when Asch had passed out even though she didn't know them, plus helping them out after she finds out they're not really cosplayers. She also delivers gifts from Mrs. Oates, which is very kind of her to go out of her way. Even though she finds Jake creepy, she still protected him against the Deimos as well, which shows that she does care about other people. But some things that she does that questions her personality are taking the cereal box that Pierce stole, knowing that and eating it herself without returning it, using them for Instagram likes even though they don't understand fully what the meaning is of posting pictures of themselves, and not explaining things so they can understand. Plus faking being friends with Lorelai, and even rejecting her advances for her to try to get to know her, calling her a stalker. Overall, pros, confident and independent. Cons, deceptive and curt.
Leif, take it to her.
Pardon me?
Did I stutter?
Asch is the leader that is kin to the throne and is in charge of a secret mission to find magic in another world. He is often portrayed as this never take no for an answer character, where he always asserts his dominance and makes decisions on his best interests, whether it may be on the spot or thought over for a period of time. Asch's assertiveness really shows when we first meet him saying,
My knights, if you are loyal to me, to the future I vow to bring once I'm king, then follow me. I understand, should you choose to remain. However, should I see you after you abandon me? Oh, I will kill you.
What? Asch!
This is very important because it shows how serious he is about this mission and how serious he is about loyalty to his comrades. He steps through the portal first, rightfully, without hesitation, and furthermore, his challenge with Earth's properties begins. After his first real encounter with human females, we see that, probably like most Deimos, they find themselves to always be at odds with strangers, rather than being neutral.
Should we trust this?
Anything to help us is greatly appreciated.
Rhys, this is obviously a trap.
No, I'm going to put my faith in this human female sorcerer.
Yeah, she seems like a kind lady.
Really?
He's absolutely no stranger to taking the first hit, as it's seen as a wise thing to take first strike rather than submit to peace. Though while he is independent in his choices, he's not afraid to agree with Rhys about rethinking impulsive decisions.
Don't show her weakness, Noi.
Prince Asch.
Fine.
Which shows that he's not so ignorant to be stupid over his pride, while still being undeniably confident in himself and his abilities.
I mean, you didn't really give me a choice, but okay.
Upon the rising of the next sun, you will take us out!
God, you'd be so much hotter if you didn't talk.
Well, I think I'm hot enough.
That isn't what I meant.
Even to the point of being against his friends, like when Ava posted pictures of him and Leif on Instagram. Along with this confidence, Asch is very blunt and short-tempered when it comes to getting what he wants.
Oh no. Beautiful men.
Descend at once.
Huh?
Descend.
You you can drop the medieval roleplay. I'm not in any place to participate, as you can tell. Oh, I remember, because your stupid muscle-bound friend that put me here. Now get me down before I call the cops.
Silence!
Did you just...
So much for threatening her to show us the human world.
I'll settle this. Human sorcerer Ava, open this door right now before I bust this door down and take that power away from you as fast as I can. You don't even know how powerful I am, do you? Oh, I'm gonna get your power, yes I am. You have no right to keep that from us. Now, what do you mean we can't go in?
Your Majesty, stop.
I mean that we're closed today and we won't be open until Monday. Please let me down.
Then this Monday better come now. I've dealt with the most annoying ear female, and now this?
Overall, pros: Asch is confident and independent, cons: hot-headed and impatient.
You should take it as a compliment I didn't kill you in your sleep.
Leif is the second most deadly Deimos on the Ring of Guards. Being the third to enter the portal to Earth, he's sassy, aggressive, childish, and inappropriate. He's laid out to his teammates in the first episode, showing concern multiple times for them whenever being presented in new situations.
A lever.
Should you be touching that?
We won't know what it does unless we closely examine it.
Then, let me.
In his, I presume, childish nature, he often makes instant conclusions and expresses them either through fear or sass.
Leif, wait!
It's gonna kill us!
Hey, look at me. What did I do?
Wow, never seen someone reject your smile like that.
I can't put my finger on it, but something about knowing more humans are thinking of me more than Asch does make me feel powerful.
In episode 3, we begin to see Leif presenting his concerns of how docile they're being towards Ava, and how loyal Pierce is to Asch, when in record we've seen him be just as worried as Pierce has. He's also been shown to be equivalent in reasoning as Prince Asch has, but in the most recent episode, Ava's modeling career, we see he's beginning to become impatient with Ava, and even to a point where he's argued/disobeyed the prince and was willing to go as far to kill her in motivation. Though, surprisingly, he takes some disgust in seeing Ava distraught from seeing her past classmates after they backtalked her, and even offers to kill them for her if it'll make her stop. Which, I suppose, can be taken as, I don't like the look you're making because I don't understand it, or I don't like seeing you upset. But it's probably the first if I were honestly speaking. Overall, pros: Leif is childish and careful, cons: aggressive and hot-headed.
What's wrong?
My skin is on fire!
Noi is generally the innocent one of the group, expressive and silly. He's oftentimes found fawning over something new or putting himself out there to figure out solutions to problems. Noi is a pretty straightforward character, but he showed some interesting decisions when he confronted Leif when Leif was about to kill Ava in her sleep. He claimed that he was also going to kill her as well because he was afraid of her, even though Leif was under the impression that Noi liked Ava. Not in a romantic way depicted, but liked in a general way. He's the newest guard to the circle and is found to be outgoing when he finds the other cosplayers dressed like him, not afraid to walk up to them, even on an unknown area. Overall, pros: nice and outgoing. Cons: naive and uncertain.
These likes seem to please Ava.
Pierce is the gentle giant. He's the second one to enter the portal after Asch. He is extremely silent and aloof, but shows belief in Asch's ideals and when Leif confronts him about his strangely different characteristics around Ava. Pierce also seems to be the one initiating physical contact with Ava the most, showing his fearlessness towards humans regardless of his knowledge. He even shows some interest in Ava by bringing her food that he accidentally stole from the grocery store to make her feel better when she passed out again, calming her back to sleep when they were about to be discovered, and claiming that he trusts her aside only just meeting. We see much more motivation when Leif and Asch's argument arise in their lair, when he sides with Asch again against Leif, claiming that nobody was going to be killing Ava until they found out more first. Overall, pros: kind and strong. Cons: silent and aloof.
Yes, I'm sure. But now, let me tell you all about ice cream.
Rhys is the most logical and level-headed Deimos out of the four. He's constantly keeping Asch in check, and he's a curious explorer who enjoys new things and fawns in the same regard Noi does, but it's much less common. He has a very good memory and seeks to appease Ava by passing her tests and proving his knowledge to her. He's shown faith in her and looks out for her when they confront Jake accidentally. Overall pros, sharp and level-headed. Cons, selfless and an overthinker. Now that I've given my gist of the characters, let's talk about the show so far. The concept isn't super complicated, and it's definitely humorous to watch these serious guys try to figure out how Earth works and how humans work. The concept isn't untouched by other writers, but I have faith in this possible story that could unfold with Ava being the unsocial girl who struggles with making friends and is constantly indoors. It contrasts with her personality, forcing her to step out more often and form more appropriate relationships, even if she didn't expect it. But the big question is, how is this story going to end in its hopeless endeavor of finding magic when in reality Ava doesn't have any, nor does anyone on Earth? Possibly in the end, they'll most likely find something to substitute magic, like weapons or chemicals. Or even forget about the mission entirely and just live on Earth, which is unlikely, but they've already got their heads on the line for even being there and stealing the last soul from their planet to get there. If I were to take a blind guess at what's going to happen, some romance is probably going to take over most of the story and limit their choices because they want to be around Ava or don't want her killed in the end. I'm not going to flag Jess for making romance stories, because if I didn't like them, I obviously wouldn't be here. What I mean is, most of her stories revolve around Aaron and Aphmau, because they're the main couple, and Jess has made other series going into their past and continuing on in the future, from high school to when they're adults. In Heart's Point, you can see similarities between Rio and Aaron, claiming them both to be the bad boy type. Take a look at all the series that she's done that have a full story. It's not difficult to see that most of the stories revolve around Aphmau, but this isn't a bad thing at all. In fact, it makes sense for the timeline. But there's obviously an imbalance in the amount of relationships the protagonist has, where it would be interesting to see more of Jess's work with new characters, like in My Inner Demons, Heart's Point, or Meteor Valley. She's very creative when it comes to creating new worlds and concepts, even if there's no romantic aspect to it. That's why I'm looking forward to the new episodes of My Inner Demons, and hope she'll continue to take new perspectives and try new things. As you can probably tell, I don't really like Ava as a character. I think she's kind of a jerk and is careless sometimes. But that could be the point of her character, is to convince me that she's more than that. And Jess is obviously trying to branch off her personality and mood by developing this new arc of her past and the people she once knew and worked around. The reason why I brought Aaron and Rio into this video was because they fall under the bad boy category, and fans are suspecting that Ava is going to end up with Leif or Asch because they're suspected to be in this bad boy slot. And the main thing that can make a series much less enjoyable is predictability. There are many plots that have used this exact same concept and have created stereotypes around how it'll end. But even though people may be able to predict how this series will end romantically wise, Ralph Emerson said, "It's not about the destination, it's about the journey." And one thing I'm certain Jess does that always keeps me interested is that she can always throw me for a loop when it comes to a story.